Okay, this lesson is going to be on graphing, or actually finding the slope of a line on a graph. Okay, all right. Now, what you have to do when you're looking at a line is that you can really take any point, okay, on the line as long as it's at one of the grid spots. Okay, and what you do, all right. Let's say I have a point here. Okay, let's say I had a point here. All right. Now, what you do to find slope, you want to start from the left. Because remember, when we graph a line, we go up or down and always right. So when we find slope, let's always go right. Doesn't matter what point on the grid you start from. So let's say I start from this point. Okay? So to figure out the slope, okay? To figure out the slope, all right, what I'm going to do, the top number tells me how many I had to rise or fall. The bottom number tells me how many I have to go to the right. So on this one, I count the spaces. I rise 1, 2, okay? So you want to rise to the level, okay? It's like almost like taking an elevator, okay? If you go to a hotel or your apartment or wherever, you take the elevator up and then you go over. So what you want to do is you want to take the elevator up or down to get on the same floor or level and then count how many spaces over. So in this case, I go up 1, 2, okay? That's the top number. And then I go 1, 2 to the right. And if I divide those numbers, I get 1 for a slope. Okay? And we're going to practice a bunch of these. All right? All right. I'm going to skip that one for right now. I'm going to come to this one. Okay? All right. So on my graph here, okay, and hopefully you can see this as you're watching it. Okay, I'm picking this point. Okay, the left point. So I'm going to count how many spaces to this one. 1, 2, 3. Now, I'm going to put negative. Why? Because from that point I went down and then over 1 to the right, and if you divide that, you get -3 for an answer. Okay? All right, moving on to this one. Once again, I'm going to start from this point, go to this point. So here I'm going to go down 1. So since I went down, it's going to be negative. 1, 2 to the right, and if I divide that in my calculator, I get -1/2. Okay? All right, and if you want to check that, all right, in the calculator, all right, menu, -1 divided by 2, all right, fraction decimal, -1/2, okay? And let's go to the next one, all right? So from here, all right, I would start on this one and go to this, okay? So I'm counting 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2 over, so 3 down over 2. I'm going to check that in my calculator. -3 divided by 2 stays -3/2. Okay. Moving on to this one. Okay. I'm going to start from this point right here. Okay. I could have started from any of the points. Doesn't matter. It'll work no matter where you start from. I'm going to go 1, 2 up. So 1, 2 up, 1, 2 over. 2 divided by 2 is a slope of 1. Okay. All right. Once again, I'm going to start from this point here. I'm going to go to this point. So here I'm going up 1. So I'm over here now. I'm counting the spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? I'm going to check that. I'm going to see if that gets any smaller. 1 divided by 4. Okay? Fraction decimal. Nope. Stays 1/4. Okay? All right. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Now, you don't even really need to do this one because remember when we have the Hoy and the Vox, that's a horizontal line. That O stands for a 0 slope. Okay? This U stands for an undefined slope. Okay? Stands for undefined. Okay? So on this slope, I'm just going to have a slope of 0. Okay? All right? Moving on to this one. I'm going to start, let's say I start at this point. I'm going to this point. That's up 1 over 1, 2, and 3, 1/3. Okay, 1 divided by 3. You get that for an answer. All right. Moving on to some of these other ones. Okay. I can start from this point and go to this point. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now I'm going 1 over. 5 divided by 1 is 5. Okay, let's go to the next ones. Okay, all right, say I started here and went to this one. Okay, that's down 1 over 1, 2, and 3. So that's -1/3. Okay. Say I had this one. I started at this point, went to this point. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1, which is 5. Okay. All right. let's say I was here. I got this point and this point. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 1, 2. So 7 over 2. Okay? I want to see if that gets smaller. I'm going to check. 7 divided by 2. I get this, and that stays 7 over 2. All right? We go to this one. All right? I'm at this point. I'm going here. So I'm falling 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. So negative 3 over 4. I'm going to see if that gets any smaller. Negative 3 divided by 4 stays negative 3 over 4. Okay, say I have this one right here. All right, I'm going up 1 over 1, 2, and 3, so that's 1/3. Okay, this one I'd start at this point. Okay, I'm going to go 1, 2, down 1, 2. So I went down. So I'm using that. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. Okay? Alright? Alright, this one right here, I'd go this point to this point. Okay, that's up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1, 2. Gives me a result of 3. Okay, this one I'm going down 1, 2, 3 over 1, which would be a slope of negative 3. Okay, this one, I'd start here and go to here, that's down 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So negative 1/5. Okay, and the last one here, okay, here and here, okay. I'm going down 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Alright, the key thing also to remember as you go through these, alright, you could have those, alright, if you ever had an equation where the line was like this, that slope is undefined. Okay? Alright, and that's how you find the slope of a line with 2 points.